Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another show on ChamberSOUTH Spotlight Show. My name is Melissa Cancio, and I'm the Executive Director of ChamberSOUTH. And we wanted to talk today to Eric Schneider. He is well involved in our community, and he's a part of Baptist Health, but he's in the outpatient services in something called Express Cares. So we're excited to hear about what your journey has looked like. Thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate it. How does that? I know you have your nice title. I didn't want to miss it. So what do you do?
Well, thank you for having me. I'm a regional director for Express Cares in Dayton and Broward, and our virtual urgent care platform for Baptist for the whole system.
How did you kind of get to that space? How long have you been in Baptist? What does that look like?
So I've been with Baptist for about a little over 25 years now.
Okay.
So during that journey, I've had many different positions. I started as a radiology tech in actually South Miami Hospital. Had several different positions there, from in CAT scan and interventional radiology. Moved into the outpatient arena about 5 years into my tenure there, and we've during my time there, I've started as a supervisor and have transitioned to a director. Opened many different product lines, from sleep, infusion. Been involved with urgent cares, express cares, and obviously the diagnostic centers.
That's pretty neat. 25 years of healthcare.
Yeah.
What does it look like what does Express Cares do specifically? Like how would you explain that to the community, just to kind of give an idea?
Absolutely. So I think a lot of people are very used to the traditional urgent care for Baptist. Where it's a little bit of a larger facility. The express cares are a little bit more boutique. Typically, an urgent care is from 8 to 14 bays, where we're typically 4 bays or less. Where it's a little bit more of a retail type of arena compared to more of an emergency room type of urgent care. So we use a lot of APPs, nurse practitioners, and PAs with guidance of their medical director. We're open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. We pretty much see everything that the urgent cares see, with a very few exceptions. Like some of the urgent cares have a CAT scan machine. Typically, we don't have a CAT scan on site. But we can do EKGs, we can do lacerations, obviously flu, streps, COVID. So it's a lot of the same services, but in a more boutique type of setting.
That's pretty neat. So kind of like a grab and go.
It's supposed to be, our turnaround time is a little bit shorter than a regular urgent care. We're 75 minutes or less, where the urgent cares are 90 minutes or less.
And you're open for 12 hours, so that's so nice.
Yeah.
Before and after work. So what does it look like in your journey, your career? How did you get to where you are? I know you've been in it for 25 years, so you've seen the development within technology and just the community in general, and being in South Florida. What does that look like? Did you grow up here? How did you kind of get to where you are? Did you know you wanted to be in this field? So many questions.
Born and raised in Miami. Okay. No, I didn't start off per se in healthcare. So when I graduated out of high school, I actually went to the fire academy. But I really gravitated to the medical side of it. Yeah. So I started looking into other type of parts that might interest me. So I always like technology, and so imaging kind of fell into that spot where it has a lot of technology based into it. Obviously with MRI, CT, very tech focused, but in the same, you can be helping patients and having that connection with the patient. So I kind of fell into it a little bit. It actually was a article in the Miami Herald on how many jobs there were when it comes to imaging, and it was a growing profession. So I kind of fell into that, and
so everything fell into place.
Yep. And
is anyone in your family in the medical field, or is it just?
I had on my mom's side that there was a couple of physicians in Cuba, but nobody for quite some time. Yeah.
Wow, what part of Cuba?
My mom is from she grew up in Havana. I think her parents were from another city, but she grew up in Havana. She came when she was very young, like 7 or 8. Yeah.
Wow, super young.
Yeah.
Wow, so 100% Cuban?
No.
What's your
I I have German and French and Spaniard as well.
Okay,
so, yeah.
That is pretty
So my
neat.
dad is from New York, and then my mom is
Yeah.
from Cuba. So my dad German, French, and my mom Spaniard and
Everything
Cuban.
just fell into place.
Yeah.
Okay, so how does that? I appreciate your background. I feel like that's such an interesting touch of New York and Miami,
Yeah.
and just meeting in the middle.
Yeah.
How does it look like to just now serving the community, and what has been kind of like your biggest impact or your biggest project? Any passion projects that you've just seen from the inception to now and just grown?
So during COVID, there was a need for infusions with Regeneron or several other type of infusions that came up during that time, but we were at the same time opening up an infusion center for patients that were non-chemo infusions.
Yeah.
So I guess that's there were several projects that I've had that I'm very happy to be involved with, but that one really touched a need that we needed at that time for patients. So that was, when you hear Regeneron, that was when a lot of patients were being admitted to the hospitals, having very low SaO2s, saturations. They were getting really, really sick. So we had just opened an infusion center that was really for non-chemo. We turned it into to be able to handle some Regenerons, but we needed more. So we were involved with actually opening up what we called pop-ups. So areas in the hospital that we could convert into infusion centers,
cool.
Just for Regeneron. So at times we were infusing about 100 patients a day between the different pop-ups and the actual infusion center. Those are possibly 100 patients a day that could have unfortunately had to be admitted. End up hopefully the point was to try to keep the patients out of the hospital from getting admitted. So a lot of patients were very low SaO2s. We actually had to, some patients did still have to be admitted. They would get to us. Typically, we were seen by an urgent care first, screened for that they could have the infusion, and then they would come to us like the next day or that same day. And some were very, very sick. So it was, I guess, more recent situation where we were actually really helping some patients.
Is 100 like the average that you see just all the time, or during that
time? No, it was just during that time. It started like you would have this what we call surges, and then it would start falling off, and then there would be another surge, and then we would have to start. The numbers would come up, but we closed the last pop up, and we stopped really. Now the treatment is really more Plaxivit, which is the oral that patients can take. So we stopped that about maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. But because Plaxivit came onto the market, it was just a little bit easier for patients to do. You didn't have to be invasive, and the strains started getting a little bit less intense.
Wow, that's pretty neat. I feel like there's just so much information that I could just sit here all day and talk to you about. So what does it look like when you, like, your day-to-day, like you go into the office, or do you still work with patients, or are you more the business side? Like, how does that work?
It's very nice that I still can see. So my office recently was we opened up a new express care at Palmetto Bay, right across from the falls. Right behind Samurai. So my office is there now. So I can still see patients, meaning that if there's a situation where there's a patient that needs a little bit extra attention or something like that, I can still go ahead and talk to patients and get their feedback and see where we can improve and things like that. Clinically, no, I'm not that involved as much as before, but still making some protocols, still involved in it from a behind the scenes type of perspective. But I mean, a lot of reports, a lot of meetings, making sure that the business part is running smoothly. Obviously, connecting with our employees, sometimes connecting with our patients. Feedback from the patients is very, very important. That's how you're always going to grow and get better. So I do still like to, if I'm walking to the lobby, having, just chatting with some of the patients, seeing how, we could improve, or is everything going great? So just getting their feedback is always great. Something that I look forward to.
So you touched up on connecting with your patients and just people from the community that will come into your urgent cares and express cares, and just I feel like you're jack of all trades in all sense. So what does it look like for you to connect with the community? I know going into a chamber of commerce is a completely different ball game, but how does that help you within your business and within the community itself?
So we're very, so I have one of the express cares on Key Biscayne. So we're very, very involved with the community there. They have their own, I guess, chambers, and so we're invited quite often to their events. That community is very, like everybody knows each other. Like they'll call me, some of the patients or community members there, they'll call me directly and how's the center doing today? Can I go? Is it a long line? So we have connections with the pharmacies there. So we do spend some time with that community. And they kind of know our name and we know their name. We actually have hosted some of their meetings at the actual center outside. It's a very, very nice little atrium outside. Okay. So we've actually done that. That one was before COVID. But we typically are going to their events. Every 3 months, they'll invite us to something. But we're always more than willing to participate in any type of community event. We've gone to a couple of walks recently and participated there, more on the care and demand side, because it's very convenient to, someone needs any help, they can basically log onto their phone and they can, something happens, they can kind of like connect with a provider from that perspective.
So how would you say someone can connect with you in different websites, or what would you direct them to get to know?
So for the express cares, definitely going to, if you just Google Baptist Health Express Cares, we're typically come up, at least the first or second will come up, and you can just from there get the directions and find one of the other locations. The care and demand, again, if you Google Baptist Health Care and Demand, will come up as well. But anything that you want to find out about Baptist, if you go into the BaptistHealth.net website, you'll also find us there as well.
Lots of information. I feel like
there's plenty of ways to find us.
There's so many resources.
Yeah.
So now to get to know you a little bit more, what does it look like in terms of just how has your family been with you in this role? Because I know healthcare is very demanding in terms of first responders and things like that, especially during COVID, since you've done it for a few years. How have they kind of reacted to the work that you've been doing?
My family is very supportive of my professional decisions, and they're very open-minded on they know that it can be a 24/7 type of commitment to the centers, because the site is closed, sometimes the center can lose power, so we get called and the power is out, and we we have to make sure that the vaccines are things that are refrigerated, are they okay? So it is it could be a 24/7 type of commitment. They've always been very open-minded, to be honest with you. I think they like that. They think that they have like a connection into they'll call me, can I go to this express care? Or before, when I had the urgent cares, can I go to this urgent care? So they think that they become VIP at that point. So we treat everybody the same though. But it makes them feel like, they have a connection with the center. So, and then just from medical advice, should I go to, that's where care and demand helps a lot, is that part of care and demand is trying to help those patients of where they should go. So sometimes the patients just don't know, should I go to an emergency room? Can I wait to see my primary care doctor? So my family has those same questions. Should I go to the emergency room? Should I go to, typically it's my nephews or my nieces falling and scraping themselves or getting a bump. Should they, are they going to need a stitch or not?
Outpatient center.
So like my nephew just recently had an accident playing basketball in a basketball game, and it was helping them get to where they should be able to go to get the treatment.
I feel like this could be a good quiz.
Yeah.
That's cool. So then if you can give some examples of outpatient center versus the hospital, what would you say?
So like minor scrapes and bumps, like, so, a cut during a basketball game, we can, especially as urgent cares can handle that. You know, we now have the what we call off-campus emergency rooms. There's one in kind of by the Country Walk Airport area, and then there's another one on quarter way in like 147. Those you know, if you get into a car accident, you're having a lot of stomach issues. You might want to go to the emergency room. They're gonna have CAT scan machines there. They're gonna have further testing that can be done. But if you go to any of the urgent cares or express cares, and for some reason those feel that you need that higher level of care, they'll kind of facilitate that as well to go to one of the emergency rooms. But most of the time, the urgent cares and express cares can handle a good portion of a lot of the things that happen day to day. But like, you know, very high fevers, you might want to go to if you fell and you were in a, you know, you fell and you hit your head pretty bad, you think that you might, you know, you're losing a little bit of consciousness, that's something that you want to go to the emergency room. Bad car accidents, that yes, you can walk away from the car accident, but you probably should go to the emergency room for those, because they're going to want to run, you know, do a CAT scan and stuff like that.
Well, thank you so much for all the insight.
No, please.
Now, to get to know you a little bit more, just some rapid fire questions. Who's your celebrity crush?
I don't know if I have a celebrity crush. I don't watch a lot of movies or TVs anymore. I'm very big into podcasts and YouTube. I guess when I was younger, I mean, we all have a little bit of a, you know, I guess you could say Wonder Woman. You know, I don't know. I never had a crush on a specific person like that.
Remember who you'd like to sit with and grab coffee or tea?
There are a couple of I guess you can call them movie stars that they also have a very seems like a very keen business sense to them. So, you know, The Rock, you know, he's had some ties to Miami and stuff like that. So it was always very interesting. I actually saw him once at a chicken kitchen by
Wow.
Miami-Dade a long time ago.
Did you go say hi?
No, I didn't know it was him at the
Normal
moment.
person.
I didn't know, because I was like, I didn't really follow WWE too much. So later on, I realized that yes, it was him. But you know, he's gone from, you know, something, you know, where he says that he had the $7 now to where he's at. So you know, I can appreciate that dedication and the hard work that he's had to put into to get there. So, you know, anybody that has that type of journey is always very interesting to me, that they can take something and make it into something. Because I mean, the acting is one piece, but I think he's
the social responsibility
and the business savviness of how to do it. I mean, he's had the tequila line. He has a I think he calls it $7 production. So like, it's not, you know, he's transitioned from the front of the camera to the back of the camera as well.
Yeah, just a well-rounded man.
And the dedication that he has to you know, health and exercise and stuff like that as well, I think is something that, and he seems to be an overall great guy.
Yeah.
What he did in Hawaii, you know, obviously he has ties there as well, but he seems to say something, and he backs it up with what he's
so
talking about.
Just talk the talk. He just also walks it.
It seems like it. Yeah.
What is your favorite ice cream flavor?
I guess you can say it's chocolate, but I guess my favorite ice cream would be always the ice cream sandwich. I always
okay. Yeah. Those are yummy. Yeah. Easy, grab and go.
Take it. It's something since my childhood that, you know, that's typically my go-to.
What's your favorite food?
I guess it would be Italian. Okay. It's not what I always eat or eat a lot of, but I guess that's one of those comfort foods. My mom used to make a pretty nice spaghetti and with meat sauce. So
all the angel hair spaghetti kind of strands.
Yeah.
I mean, some people are like, but I prefer my bow ties.
I know. I mean, lasagna. I mean, overall, pizza. I'm good with most Italian stuff, but I guess it was something that was always was something that you got excited. Once a week, she would make it, so it was something that I would look forward to.
What's a bucket list item that you're trying to fulfill either this year or soon?
A bucket list. I would like to branch out and start doing more. I've been on teetering of thinking of like doing kind of like a YouTube channel or a podcast. So
this is a good start.
Yeah, yeah. And maybe not me being in front of the camera. It might be me being behind the camera, but something to that. I've been watching a lot of podcasts myself, and like I mentioned, so it's something that's been kind of like floating on top of my mind a little bit of where could I fit a niche for that area.
That is so exciting.
Yeah.
It's a different altogether.
Absolutely.
Are you going to talk about healthcare, or you just a surprise?
It probably won't be on healthcare. It'll probably be something different, just to kind of change it up a little bit for me. I haven't decided yet too much. I've been very, very getting interested in history and stuff like that. Something that I've always liked, but more and more I'm gravitating to that and see where we go with that.
Definitely. Well, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Do you just drink it straight or with sugar, cream, whipped cream?
I'm not really a coffee or a tea person. I'm more of a Diet Coke type of person. But if I had to take it would be coffee, probably like a cappuccino type of not a simple coffee. Yeah.
You prefer hot?
Yeah.
My mom would go the Diet Coke route too.
Yeah.
Or Coke Zero.
I got that unfortunately from my mom. Yeah, same
Runs
thing.
in the family.
Yeah.
Are you a dog person or a cat person?
Dog. So I have 3 mastiffs right now.
Oh my God. Yeah. Big dogs. Yeah. Lots of backyard space.
Absolutely.
They're living life.
Yeah. So it's I've always been a dog person, but I've always have had dogs, but recently I started getting into them a little bit more. But yeah, there's something very noble about the breed, and I just
are they active? Are they?
The breed act different. So the male is very active, where the females are a little bit more kind of like, they can be active as well, don't get me wrong, but they're just a little more
like cariñosa.
Yeah, you can call that. You can say that they're but he's affectionate too. It's just strange because it's supposed to be the other way around. The males, when a male from this breed makes a reaction, typically there's something going on. And he's still like that too. The females will alert more quickly than him. He's just a little more active. He just moves more, I guess. He's always into everything. Where they're a little bit more, that's not that important. But they are the ones that bark more than him. When he barks, then there's something to kind of like take a look and see what's going on. Nothing ever really is for a reason, but typically, you know, a possum walking on the fence or something like animal walking. He just
wants to be the first one there.
Yeah.
Well, that is so neat. Well, thank you so much for being here.
No, please.
Thank you so much to everyone. This is a ChamberSOUTH Spotlight show. You heard it here first. He might be starting a podcast soon, so he might be here back soon. And so just to move forward, ChamberSOUTH has a lot of events coming up in the next few months, in the next year. Always, we're ready here to mingle and mix with our community. And so our next event is coming up, and we're so excited to get to know you and see you in the next show.